It's September 22nd, 1992, and at precisely 1:33 AM on the Las Vegas Strip, a man walks out of the Stardust Casino. He strolls quietly into the night. He looks like just another average Joe, heading home to sleep. Except, inside the duffel bag he's carrying, there's over $500,000. But he hasn't won it, and the casino hasn't even realised. If everything goes to plan, nobody will ever see him or the money ever again, not even the FBI. But to understand how this happened, we need to go back 4 years earlier, when the same man walked into the Stardust Casino for a job. Back in 1988, a 30-year-old Bill Brennan has just landed his dream job in Vegas. The Stardust Casino is known for its mob past, but by the time he starts work, the gangsters have been replaced, although some things remain the same because the house always wins. In 1985, Boyd's took over, shaping it into a new, more corporate casino. Players come in the crowds, the casino sells the illusion that they can win, but 99% don't, and the casino makes billions. For this reason, most people who have been in the casino dream of ripping one off, but at the Stardust, you'd be crazy to try that. Virtually every square inch of floor space is watched and recorded 24 hours a day, so the place is bulletproof, which is why it's so shocking when Bill notices a blind spot, a gaping hole in the casino system. Bill gets the job as a cashier at the Stardust Sportsbook, linked to the casino's nerve centre. There, he takes wagers, handles payouts, and hands over Sportsbook's daily take-ins, sometimes over $200,000 in a sealed duffel bag. It's a perfect job for a steady Eddie, and that's exactly what he is. There are no black marks on his record, he's not a gambler, and he doesn't want to stand out at all. Every night he drives a beat-up Nissan back to a modest one-bedroom apartment above a dry cleaners on Desert Inn Road. No girlfriend, just a cat called Booger. He eats his dinner, watches TV, and calls it a night. That's it. Apart from his best friend being a cat, it's just work. He balances bets to the cent, keeps payouts smooth, and the casino raking in dollars. He figures, understandably, that the better he does it for them, the better they'll treat him back. Except that's not what happens. Come 1991, Bill goes for a promotion with his manager, Scotty Shetler. It's a stuttering performance. Scott likes Bill. He's solid, quiet, but to be a supervisor, you need to bring more. So the job goes to someone else. And slowly, it all becomes painfully clear to Bill. Guys like him don't climb the casino career ladder. They prop it up for someone louder. So inside him, something slowly shifts. And when a new friend tells him he's right to be pissed, he starts dreaming of doing something about it. Suddenly, a chain of events has been set in motion, and it leads to over $500,000 walking clean out of the door. This new friend is a casino customer. Friendly, charismatic, and immediately a regular, placing lots of big bets, so the casino likes him. He has plenty of cash, which he loses to them. But then come the rumours. This man has a background full of shady connections. So the Stardust will take his money, of course, but they don't trust his intentions. In truth, they just don't trust anyone, and they don't like Bill hanging around with him. Off the record, Scotty Shetler admits that the friendship prevents Bill's promotion. On record, Richard Saber tells him, that guy is going to get you in nothing but trouble. And they don't even know the worst bit yet, because this new guy has some pretty strong opinions. Bill feels underappreciated, so when this big better talks about how the casinos burn through people, how the whole system is a cheat and a trap, and it's all even worse if you work for them, minimum wage, no benefits, no job security, lining their pockets while you live off of cigarettes and noodles, well, Bill just nods and agrees, because it's true. Casino players, staff, it makes no odds. It's daylight robbery. So how would they like it if he did the same to them? Maybe, the man says, that isn't as impossible as he thinks, because to the casino, Bill is invisible. He just has to use that against them, and if he can, the gambler says he'll do his part by sharing his secrets. The trick isn't how you rob a casino, he tells him. It's how you get away with it. At the start of 1992, the planning stage begins. There are 3 parts to it. Part 1, stay under the radar, because that makes Bill invisible. So he does his thing. He's Mr. Unremarkable and hides that he's unhappy. He even invites his colleague, Richard Saber, back to his apartment, like a good employee would. Whilst there, Saber notices something unusual, a book titled How to Disappear Completely, which, unknown to him, reveals the secret, part 2 of Bill's plan, the part devised by the mystery man. For now, Saber doesn't mention it to anyone though, because he has no reason to. Not until later, when he's having to speak to the police. And then, when Bill's back at work, now more visible than ever, part 3 starts taking shape, working out how to get the money. From card counting to armed robbery and everything in between, the casino's $1 million security measures make it almost impossible to rip off. Almost, but not completely. There's always a weak spot. The more the casino believes it's indestructible, the more vulnerable it becomes, if of course he can work out how that is. So while no one's looking at Bill, Bill's looking at everyone and everything. And eventually he finds what he's looking for. If he can blow that hole wide open and walk away with the casino's money, there will be nothing whatsoever that they can do about it. The plan is complete. And in summer of 1992, his friend stops coming in. The casino breathes a sigh of relief. They think he's finally moved on. Weeks go by, and life looks to have got back to normal, until the big day finally arrives, and normal will never look the same to them ever again. It's September 21st, 1992 at 6 PM. Reliable as always, Bill clocks in for work. The late shift, not what valued members of staff get lumbered with, but that no longer bothers him. Not openly anyway, because tonight he's about to get his own back. It's a busy evening. The New York Giants are playing the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football, so there's plenty of action on the sportsbook and take-ins are good. Apart from that, it's business as usual. He jokes with a fellow employee at 7:30 PM, logs a chip count at 10:15 PM, and so far, so normal. At 11 PM, he steps away for a scheduled break. 10 minutes, half a cigarette, then back to his station, eyes on the clock. And at exactly 50 minutes past midnight on September 22nd, he's handed the shift's take-ins, chips, slips and $225,000 in cold hard cash, all totaling $507,361. He prepares to check it in. It's a little early for the 2 AM handover, but that's very normal. He checks the pre-count and by 1:07 AM, it's all been placed in a regulation Stardust duffel bag. He locks it in, tags it, signs it out, and the second employee watches him go. From there, at 1:11 AM, he heads along a well-lit corridor which runs from the sportsbook to the casino's central counting room. A route that he could walk blindfolded, past the vending machine, the payphone and 2 flickering ceiling tiles overhead, except that this time, he doesn't finish it. And he doesn't head back to his station either. He disappears, and for now, no one knows that anything is missing at all. And the secret behind his scheme is yet to be revealed. For the next 45 minutes, the casino is $500,000 down, and they don't even know it. Only when Bill's shift ends at 2 AM, when he's supposed to turn in the money, does it raise any attention at all. A shift boss calls the cage to confirm the sportsbook drop. No record. So he checks when Bill left the building. No record. And then suddenly, it's a panic. The Stardust security team locks down its CCTV tapes. They start scanning the footage from the corridor, trying to trace the bag's path. There's Bill at 1:11 AM heading along with a duffel bag, and then nothing. They watch again, frame by frame, and that's when it clicks. That corridor, it's ancient, and its cameras have been installed there for years. Some of the first ones installed to keep the taxman happy, and after the mob had been accused of skimming, so the coverage is basic. There's a blind spot, and in a brief window, invisible between 2 cameras, Bill's slipped out of a fire door, maybe changed clothes or handed the bag off. Who knows? The point is, he has their money and he's gone. The Stardust calls the cops. Vegas Metro send a car straight to Bill's apartment off Desert Inn Road, just a short drive away. They expect to find him half-packed, panicked and ready to run. Impulse criminals do the dumbest things, get drunk for example, lose their nerve, but it's all quiet. The door's locked, the lights are off, and once inside, they find something that no one expects. When police step into Bill's apartment, there's no sign of chaos at all. The bed is made, the furniture's intact, the place looks neat and tidy, but there are gaps, space in the wardrobe where clothes used to hang, a cleared out drawer, and an eerie hush where a cat should be. Booger, his number one feline friend, because he's gone too. It's been a clean, pre-planned departure. And then the investigators find it. The book on how to disappear, on how to change your identity and start a new life, never to be found again. That's what his colleague had seen. Odd at the time, but now it makes total sense. There are travel guides for Central America too, leaflets about dual citizenship, scribbled notes referring to a bank in the Bahamas, and some prepaid phone cards. The case is escalated. The FBI is called under the unlawful flight to avoid prosecution statute. A handful of early tips come in. One person claims to have seen Bill in Arizona, another insists he dropped a bus to Mexico. But the trail goes rapidly cold. No one sees a cat in a sombrero. There are no wire transfers and no clues of fake identity. So the truth becomes clearer and clearer. Day by clueless day, Bill hasn't got lucky, slipped through the gaps and escaped. He actually no longer exists. He's erased himself, erased his whole past life, and they're all left chasing a ghost. Weeks pass, then months, Nevada keeps on pushing. Bill's face goes national. Unarmed, no known accomplices, last seen carrying a black duffel bag. He even appears on America's Most Wanted as one of the nation's most dangerous fugitives. But no one got hurt. It's only casino money that was stolen, and the publicity does nothing at all, so it seems that Bill's got away with it. Or has he? By 1993, the FBI have made their call. There isn't even a video showing Bill leaving with the money, so what would they do if they found him? And while 93% of the Most Wanted list are eventually found, after the first week, the odds drop dramatically, and after a year, unless it's a priority, forget it. And despite what the casinos want, it's not a priority, and as far as the police investigation goes, they too need to move on. They believe that Bill worked alone. At the Stardust though, they aren't so sure. There's talk of a team effort, with the shady gambler who came and went. Others see something darker, a simple man groomed by connected people who'd promised they could make him disappear, and then perhaps they did, into a hole dug in the desert. A loose end buried with his best friend Booger, so they could take all the cash for themselves. It's a story that the casinos like. They can accept being screwed over by sophisticated criminals who'd do anything to get what they wanted, but they can't accept there being inside help. Some security guards paid off to look the other way, or even worse, they'd been humiliated by a single unremarkable guy. A guy who left the casino without being seen by its security cameras, and was never seen ever again. In 2006, the case is dismissed by the attorney's office in Nevada as the Stardust finally closes its doors. For nearly 50 years, it did what all casinos do. It took and took and took, and it took from Bill Brennan. So with or without help, he took back. The worker who got snubbed made his bosses pay big time with $500,000.